Hello and welcome to another episode of the Basildon Council's Official Podcast, a place where you, our residents, get to find out about things happening in your borough that affect your everyday lives. I'm your host Ryan, and today joining me, I'm pleased to say, is the Mayor of Basildon Borough, Councillor Luke Mackenzie. Good afternoon, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good, thanks, and it's good to be here.
Good, excellent. Now, we haven't. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's the first time we've had a mayor on the podcast. This is rather exciting. But what I really want to do, and we do this a lot with the majority of our guests, but particularly councillors, and in this case a mayor, we may see we've got the chain on today, we've got the bling, but there is a person behind the title, there is a person behind the chain. So who is Mayor Mackenzie? Who are you? Where are you from? What are we into?
So I was born in Basildon, I grew up here, I've lived all over the town. Although I do work in London, and being mayor is on top of my actual day job. I have quite a few hobbies. I think you mentioned earlier that you saw me going like motorcycling.
Yeah.
It's something I've been doing for a few years now. I've got a Kawasaki Versys 1000S, and before that I had a Triumph Tiger Sport 1050. They're like sports touring bikes, so they're a bit quick, but they're used for going distance, and they're quite comfortable. They've got modern features like heated grips, so if I want to go on a trip to, say, Cornwall, where I went a couple of years ago, it's quite a comfortable ride, but I can also enjoy the ride at the same time.
I think that's quite, sorry to interrupt you, I think that's quite, like, most people when they think of a mayor, they don't think of a mayor on the back of a motorbike. I think that's quite a cool image of you on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's nice to be on the open road. If I just want to get on the bike and go clear my head or something, it's quite a nice thing to do. I go for rides out with my dad and my cousin in the summer around the Essex countryside, so it's actually quite an enjoyable hobby. Also use it to get around. It beats the traffic as well, which is quite useful.
Excellent. So we're a local lad then. What kind of got you into trying out local politics?
Quite a long story, really. I was originally wanted to go into engineering, and when I was young, I think I was about 16, I got offered a apprenticeship on London Underground as a signal engineer. However, I failed the medical because I was slightly colourblind. Okay. Only mildly, but it's enough that they wouldn't accept me, so I had to go back to sixth form instead. And I didn't really know what subjects to pick, and I kind of always had a little bit of an interest in politics, so I chose government and politics, and I really enjoyed it. So at that point I decided I'll try and get a bit more involved in local politics and joined the local Conservative Party. And
so how long is it now that we've been involved in local politics?
Well, I probably joined when I was about 18, the Conservative Party, but I didn't really get active until maybe when I was 19, so I decided to campaign in 2005 general election, and then kind of didn't really do much the next year, but then got involved in the 2007 local or 2006 local elections, and in 2007 when I stood for election in Vange. I lost that year. However, I ended up standing again in Vange in 2008, and I became a councillor at the age of 22.
Wow, that seems quite young.
Yeah, Basildon does have elect young councillors now and again. We've done it a few times, so it's quite open to young people in this council, which I think is a good thing to get different perspectives from different age ranges. Yeah,
I was going to ask sort of what your thoughts were on the idea of having younger people involved in politics. Do you think that is something that politics could benefit from, having such a wider range of experience?
Yeah, because we all have different experiences. We have different perspectives, and people face different challenges at different ages, so it's good to have that mix in there, I think.
So we've been part of local politics for quite a long time. Is there anything in particular that maybe stands out to you that you're quite proud of, that you're like, do you know what, that was really good?
I think I've achieved a few things. I brought some motions to council as a councillor. One was the public space protection order. That was to do with people making loud noise with their cars under the flyover in Pitsea, racing, causing disturbances. So it was originally to ban that, but ended up expanding across the borough to include other sorts of antisocial behaviour. And that allows the council to impose £100 fines on people breaking that. Also, I brought a motion which was the start of the Basildon Council's biodiversity strategy. That was something I took to council, and then it eventually went to committee and has grown into this big policy which affects the whole borough now, and hopefully it's good for our environment, good for local wildlife. But I think the main achievement is just becoming mayor. It's something I wanted to do for a long time, I've really enjoyed it so far. It's such a worthwhile and unique experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could not have segued it better myself. Let's talk about being Mayor of Basildon Borough. What made you want to sort of stand? How does one become the mayor? Do you stand? Are you nominated? How does that happen?
First of all, got to be a councillor, elected as a councillor. Then at the AGM every year, council elects a mayor, and they need to be nominated by one of the other councillors, and then council needs to take a vote. And then the person needs over 50% of councillors to support them, and then they become mayor at the AGM.
Excellent. And what sort of additional things does the mayor do? So how does a mayor differ from a councillor? What's the key differences, do you think?
There's several. First of all, I chair the full council meeting. I have to make sure all the debates are done correctly, rules and procedures are followed, every councillor gets their say, and it's a lot bigger than the other meetings in the council in the sense that there's all 42 councillors there. So that's quite a momentous task. I'm also known as first citizen of the borough, which means I'm the king's representative in the borough. So when I'm attending community events, which I do a lot of fates and all other sorts of things, visiting people in the borough, it's technically on behalf of the king.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yes. But I mean, there's different levels. So if there's a higher representative there, then they're in default. So, for example, the Lord Lieutenant, for example, would be a higher representative than I would, and they would take precedent.
I see. And so, am I right in thinking as well, sort of the mayor almost holds a neutral stance, sort of is there, like you say, that the person that makes sure things go right. So, I'm just sitting here, just making sure that you're all behaving.
Yes, that's meant to be the role. Of course, I do come from a political party, and I try my best to be neutral. But I think at the end of the day, we're only human. I'm never going to get every single decision right. But I think all I can do is try my best in that sort of scenario.
And so how long have we been the mayor now?
I've been mayor since May 2022. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be a 1-year term, but I renewed for a second term, so this is my second year now. It'll be finishing in May this year.
Oh, okay.
When I'll be stepping down and someone else will be taking over.
Okay, so sorry, I wanted to look at that sort of. You said you're mayor for a year and you renew. Is that a case of like it's the same procedure where someone nominates and says, "Right, I think you're doing okay. Would you go again?"
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay, cool.
I again vote at council. I actually because I was the incumbent, I needed to leave the room this year rather than the previous year when I could stay in there.
Okay, and so this is our final run now as the mayor. We're stepping down this year. How are you entitled to run again, or is it just a case you want to just take a step back from it?
In theory, I can run again if I'm re-elected as a councillor in May. The trouble is I have a full-time job on top of this, and it does take up a lot of time, and I'm using a lot of my annual leave from work to do mayoral duties. Mm-hmm. At some point, I'm probably going to burn out if I carry on. So, and also, I think it's one of them roles where different people should try it, and they bring something new and unique to the role. And no one wants the same person over and over and over and again. And they'll get to visit all the charities, community groups, see the best that Basildon has to offer, and that's one of the unique privileges of this role. I get to see the best of Basildon. No,
I like that. That sounds really good. So what I'm getting is that being a mayor it's a tough job. It's very intensive. It requires a lot of time and energy, and whoever does it has to be really wants to do it.
Yes, correct.
And we get to wear the bling as well as part of mayor. I suppose that's a perk.
Yes, although it can be a bit heavy sometimes. I
was going to ask whether when it's first put on, you go, actually that's quite heavy.
Yeah, and it often like walking along it fall down, and
yeah,
it has got a counterweight at the back, but it's just like a bit of an awkward shape at times.
And so in terms of in your term as being mayor, what has been some like really like good things that really stick out? We spoke before that you get to meet lots of volunteer groups and other people that do really fantastic work and meet them and be that presence, sometimes for the king. What's it like? Is it good?
I get to it's such a range of things. For example, one weekend I visited a wood making charity over in Tyler Park, New Life Wood, I believe they're called, and they help people who've been offenders and in mental health institutions by teaching them woodcraft and carpentry, and then they sell the products they make. So I get to see that on the ground work like that taking place, where they're making a difference to people's lives. And then another time, a local farmer invited me to help finish their harvest, and I got to drive a combine harvester and harvest enough wheat to make, I think, about 10,000 loaves of bread.
That's pretty cool.
So I got to see that, and they wanted to like help promote farming. I think they sent it off to the NFU magazine. It's just to help how farmers contribute to the local economy and our local food security. And another time I visited New Holland tractor plant, got to see the assembly line and how they make all the tractors, and it's just such a range of things. And then there's also the representing Basildon in other areas. So I will be invited to other boroughs, other parts of Essex, to represent Basildon in civic ceremonies. For example, I went to the High Sheriffs of Essex Justice Service at Chelmsford Cathedral. So it's like every day can be completely different.
So what I'm getting is, being the mayor means you can do lots and see lots of different things.
Yes.
It's just a wide kaleidoscope of stuff. Have we enjoyed being a mayor? Because if we're going to step down soon, can we say, I've really enjoyed that?
Yeah, I have really enjoyed it. It's been such a worthwhile experience, and it's really opened my eyes to all the really good things going on in Basildon. And why I have really enjoyed it, I think it is someone else's turn to take over, and hopefully they can have the same experiences I've had and bring something new to the role.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for giving us your time today to come and speak with us. I really do appreciate it. It's the first time we've had a mayor on the show. It's amazing. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you for watching, everybody. If you found that interesting, please do drop a like on the video itself. If you have any questions or suggestions for anyone that you'd like us to talk to, please do send us those. It would be really helpful to gauge as to who else we're going to get on. So thank you very much for watching today, and we will see you on the next one.